My heart is weeping for this world, this precious world, this hateful world. Oh, what a wonderful, tumultuous world.
Hello, this is Lance Bryant, and welcome to episode 3 of Lance Bryant DIY Interviews, where we talk to saxophonist, vocalist, composer, arranger, and a bit of a songwriter, Lance Bryant, about his music, creative process, and other things. Hats. Today we're going to check out the song This World, a song about hatred. Hi, how are you? I'm good, man. How you doing? I'm doing great. And it's so wonderful to have you once again to share insights on your music. So let's get right into it. When was this song written? Aren't you going to ask me about my hat? Oh, okay, sure. Have at it. This is one of my Biltmore hats. Biltmore is actually a black-owned major hat company now out of Texas. I believe the owner's name is Eric Lines. This is a different kind of straw from the Panama, as you can see. Panama straw is usually kind of a flat, lighter color. This is more textured. It's a Milan braid straw. And Milan braids were originally made of wheat straw, but these days it's usually hemp and some synthetic materials. So the thing I like about this hat is the rich golden color of the straw and the subtle colors in the outer band. That's great, bud. So when was this song written? Fall and winter of 2017. This is the fastest I think I've ever written a song, about 2 months, which is pretty fast for me. Really? Why do you think it was so fast? Probably because of all the stuff I was hearing and seeing on the day-to-day. You know, I like to have the news, CNN or some other kind of news running off and on throughout the day, depending on what I'm doing. And there was so much hatred in the way people talked to each other and treated each other. Racial, political, all the news footage of violence, both criminal and wrongful police violence against people, people insulting each other and being disrespectful, not able to disagree and maintain any kind of manners and respectability. It all just got to be so sad. Around that time, I was listening a lot to St. Matthew Passion by J.S. Bach, and that music is just so wonderful and how it captures the sadness and mournfulness of the subject matter, which is a concept that's very interesting to me, how pain and suffering can inspire such beautiful music. It's kind of like the way the blues addresses sadness and pain, but makes you feel better at the same time. So it was while taking a closer look at this music of Bach's is when I decided to write a song about how I was feeling about the social climate. And I guess because the feelings were so strong at the time, it's probably why the song came together so fast. Wow, that's fascinating how you creative people work. I don't see how you do it. Well, a lot of time and work goes into it. What do you do? I drive for Lyft and Uber. Moving forward, opportunity is out there. Oh, cool. You like it? I love it. And you know the best thing about it? No, what? Wait for it. Okay. Wait for it. Yeah. Wait for it. I get to drive people to the airport. Yes. That means they're going to distant places, sometimes exciting and exotic places. Like you, I suppose. I wish I could travel. You have lyrics in this song saying opposing things back to back, things like precious, hateful, wonderful, tumultuous, lovely, troubled. What are these seemingly contradictory phrases saying? Well, I think it means that as citizens of this world, we have the potential to go either way, either towards the positive and beautiful or towards the negative and ugly. I heard Quincy Jones say in his documentary that you have to be taught how to hate. It doesn't just happen naturally out of the womb. So there's a choice. You know, how sad is that generation after generation, people are learning how to hate. You know, I like to check out history, and I've always had this feeling that humankind is advancing and getting smarter over the millennia. We no longer think the world is flat. We no longer live in cities where people throw trash and feces out of the windows. We no longer burn witches at the stake. We no longer sell people in chains on an auction block in the middle of town. We no longer have scientists who are supposed to be the smart ones saying that Negroes lack the intelligence to take care of themselves or do the work of a white man. Yeah, I think we've come a long, long way, but sometimes you have to wonder just how far we've come. I guess it's all relative if you're talking thousands of years from Neanderthal, or however many years it is. Well, let me put your mind at ease, Lance. We are advancing. In the future, all races and species will learn to work together in peace. I mean, come on. We'll even have a Klingon officer as a member of Starfleet Federation. That's fantastic. I can see Vulcans as officers because, well, they're awesome. But a Klingon? Ha, sosul, cooch. Yo, hold up. What'd you just say to me? Ha, I just said your mother has a smooth forehead in Klingon. Isn't that a great language? Where do you think all this hate is coming from, since, as you said, or Quincy said, we're not naturally born with it? I believe much of it is fear-driven. Fear is a deep and powerful emotion, biological deep. Sometimes people have a fear that someone's going to deprive them of something they feel they should have, or they're going to lose their social position in life, or sometimes it's just the fear of the unknown. But I think that if people spend time, one-on-one time together, and especially if they go through some heavy situation together, all that fear gets broken down and people will realize that they have more similarities than differences. That's why the takeaway for this song, it comes in one line. It says, "Time for us to get to know each other." Exactly. That's just what happens between the dwarf Gimli and the elf Legolas while fighting side by side in the Fellowship of the Ring. Bruh, that's not even real. Come on, man. Well, I suppose it's time to have a listen to This World. Here is Lance Bryant at the piano singing This World.
My heart is weeping for this world, this precious world, this hateful world. Oh, what a wonderful, tumultuous world. My hope is slipping in this world, this lovely world, this troubled world. Oh, what a beautiful, floundering world. One might dare to ask the question, what's wrong with us? What's up with us? Why can't we get it together? Live and let live, yeah. After all that we have gone through, and this is what we now have come to. Oh, hatred and violence. Oh, have we learned nothing at all? My heart is weeping for this world, this precious world, this hateful world. Oh, what a wonderful, tumultuous world. Just how different can we really be? One heart, two eyes, 10 fingers, all of we. great question, what do you see when you look at someone like me? Oh, yeah. Brother or other, oh, can we go on living this way? Time for us to get to know each other.
That's beautiful. Thank you. So, did you say you had been listening to, who was it? J.S. Bach. A rapper? No. Johann Sebastian Bach was a German classical composer from the 1700s. He wrote incredible music. What leads you to reach so far and away for your inspiration, even as far back as centuries-old European cultural expression, while most people are trying to be relevant, drawing from the latest trends like hip-hop? I have the pleasure of working and touring with the great South African pianist and composer Abdullah Ibrahim. And every time I hear that music, night after night, it touches me in a deep place. And it's not the complex, dissonant parts that do it. It's the simple pieces that are very lyrical and sound like they're coming from a deep tradition. In fact, he has a piece called Water from an Ancient Well, and his music sounds just like that. So it inspires me to not be afraid of simplicity and to seek the wisdom and tradition, old traditions of things that tap into the deepest parts of our humanity. This is what I would love to tap into. And as far as drawing from old European traditions and from my own heritage at the same time, I think music at its core has no nationality, no place, no time or race. Music is just, it is its own language, and an artist can use whatever's available. Just go with inspiration and honesty and just express yourself, that's all. Be sure to check out the full version of This World in a live performance on Lance Bryant YouTube channel. This is with Gil Scott Chapman on keyboard, Jared Walser on drums, and Kaylin Bryant on bass. The song says, time for us to get to know each other. Seems so simple, and yet maybe not so simple. But I think it's a great idea, Lance. Yeah, I think we can all do our little part just by talking to each other. For instance, you probably get to talk to a lot of people when you're doing your Uber driving, right? Well, it might not seem like it, but like you, I'm a pretty quiet and private person. I tend not to say much unless the other person engages. All right, I feel you. Wait, how'd you know I'm a quiet and private person? I just had a hunch. You know, people are starting to say that we're a lot alike and even look exactly alike. Imagine that. Well, you know, they say everybody has a double somewhere. Well, we've come to the end of another wonderful time of music and conversation. Thank you, Lance, for sharing your thoughts and about your musical process. Thanks for having me. I always enjoy. And we'll see you again for our next episode when we'll have a return to the blues of sorts. It's a song that deals with an issue that we all must face. Join us next time for Lance Bryant DIY interviews. Until then, prayers for peace and live long and prosper.